Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really, it's just an excuse for me to talk to my very talented friends. And speaking of talented friends, I have another one here with me today. He is composition artist, utility player extraordinaire, and also not too bad-looking gentleman, Alex Leonard. Welcome, sir.
Hi, buddy.
How you doing?
Doing good. Doing
Yeah?
good.
Nice lazy Sunday for you?
Yes, I filled in a hole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How did what give us the context there, because that sounds a little gross, a little dirty.
Well, I had to dig a hole.
Uh-huh.
Filled it back in.
Oh, fair enough. Was that you had to bury like a utility pipe or something?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There's more than enough jokes there,
Borderlines.
but
Yeah.
yeah, just a pipe.
I remember I had a summer job for a while where I ended up doing landscaping work and laying a lot of sprinkler systems. So you pull out the ditch witch and you just go to digging.
Exactly.
Everybody's got a whole bunch of jokes out there. So yeah, you work as a composition artist over in RT Animation, as well as a bunch of different other positions. But I think you could describe it a little bit better than I could.
Yeah. Let's see. Started out doing help with the machinima team, and then comp on RWBY 13. And for RWBY 3, I am apparently heading the render team.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
That's awesome.
It-
Now, let's go through those one at a time here. For
Alright.
a machinima artist for Red versus Blue, that's
Yes.
pretty self-describing. You sit there with the actual controllers when you do the machinimation portions, the ones that aren't computer generated.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically playing video games 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah. Oh, we need to go back and do that again. We need to go back and do that again. We need to go back and do that again.
Yep.
Okay,
Sit, wait.
and so then what does a composition artist do?
They do a lot of the special effects, just kind of get the whole mood of the shot. Anytime you see sort of like a haze or a glow or like your special effects, anything they add a lot of the
Atmosphere.
atmosphere to the shot. Makes it look pretty.
And so you guys have been very active on that this third season, because I for one, as someone who is just a fan at heart first, have noticed a huge difference in the art style of season 3 versus seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys and the background artists, like, oh my god, so amazing.
Yeah, no, the talent there is ridiculous. On the comp side, as far as RWBY goes, I have not actually done any of the comp on it.
Oh.
That's all Robert and his team. But
Gotcha.
yeah, no, it's leaps and bounds above the other two seasons. Not to say that they weren't good. It's just when you get talent in there that like we have, it's a different ballgame.
Fair enough. And so, you said you were working with the render team on RWBY.
Yeah, the render team, we basically take shots that are sent to us from layout. They've got the camera and everything laid in place, all the characters. What we'll do is we will take a whole picture and slice it into different parts, characters, your backgrounds, special effects, things like that. We'll separate those so that comp can work with them individually, so that you don't, blow out any one individual piece.
Right.
If
You
wanna-
accidentally mess up one of your background characters coming into the foreground by messing up one of your foreground characters.
Exactly. You want to be able to put certain effects on certain things.
Working in
you know,
layers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's meticulous, a little tedious, but it's got to get done, so we do it.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of hours too. Like, I see you guys there well after I leave, and I sit there and say that I stay there a lot of hours. Like, good gravy.
I do have a cot at the office.
I feel like that's much less of a joke than it should be.
There's no joke at all.
Yeah.
I literally have a cot there.
But it's a nice place to have a cot. I mean, let's
There are worse
call
places
that what
to
it
have
is.
one. Yes, absolutely.
And so to get to a place like that, it's kind of a little bit long road, eh?
Yeah.
To put it very mildly.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think I'm one of the very few that they called me. Instead of
yeah.
applying. Yeah, I never actually applied to Rooster Teeth. It just so happened pieces fell into place. I was living close to Austin, so got a call one day from Adam Ellis, Gilby, and he said that I was going to get a phone call from Rooster Teeth. I was like,
Yeah.
why? And he said, don't worry about it, just answer the phone. So I did. And yeah, I answered the phone, and I was talking with Cohen, the producer of, well, at the time, RWBY, and now RWBY. He asked me to come in and take a look, just to help out with the machinima guys, Kyle and Josh.
Right.
And so came in, apparently interviewed well enough that they hired me on. They said, okay, this is going to last till August. And cool. Yeah, and now it's December, and I'm still there, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. No, I'd say not.
Yeah, Machinima finished up. They're like, okay, you want to try composition? I was like, sure, okay. And they're like, all right, now you want to render? I was okay.
Yeah. Well, that's one of one of the great things about having so many animation shows now is there really isn't a time where you can just say, okay, animators, go away for a couple of weeks. We'll call you when we need you.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely how it was after like RWBY 2, or like between 1 and 2 and 2 and now.
Yeah, absolutely.
More,
So I've talked to a bunch of other guys in animation who have said the exact same thing, that it is just nonstop now. For better. Like, I mean, it is so awesome to be busy doing stuff as opposed to just waiting by the phone.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Fortunately, I this is a very nice like perk. Like if you're wasn't necessarily looking for a job at the time, but when this fell in my lap, it was like, oh, of course I want to do that.
Right.
So
one of the other things that you are a one of the few of, if I remember correctly, you're also one of the few Guardians who have been brought into the office.
yeah, actually really followed in Ellis's steps again there. He was running the security team for RTX 13.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
And then he got hired in.
He got hired, and he suggested to Chris and Mary that I lead that team, and then 2014 and 2015, this last year, I have headed the security team for the Guardians. So, yeah, that's interesting, pulling double duty, working at at Rooster Teeth and also being a Guardian at the same time. It's busy.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
No,
I was
Yeah.
I was going to do that. And then I ended up not taking my Guardian position because I still ended up working a 37-hour day during RTX. Like, I put in more time than I ever did as a Guardian.
Yeah, right.
God, but it was so worth it. Like, that Murder at RTX booth and the RT Experience booth itself were so much better than
awesome.
And it felt so nice to have been like a more integral part of that than even a guardianship will allow you to be, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. There's still only so much you can do as a Guardian before it's like...
Just by virtue of the fact that you're not the person pulling the trigger on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're there volunteering to help, and you want to be at that level, but actually getting to do the planning and doing all those phases, those are only things that you can do once you're on the inside, which now you get to do as well for some of the animation shows.
We'll see. Still real low on that totem, but...
So what was your level of fandom before you came in? Like, how...
I had a buddy of mine that sent me a DVD of RWBY Season 1. And I latched onto it just because, I've got some military experience myself, and to see this and to have it show the other side of the military, you see these military style shows and movies and things like that, and it's all the action.
Right.
But they don't show you the 90% of the other 90% where it's just sitting around talking with your buddies, like,
waiting
what the hell you're doing. Yeah, like, why'd you sign up for this? So to see that and to get the humor of it, it was refreshing. And
I mean, I'll bet from just frame one, it kind of grabbed you.
Absolutely.
Sitting there on top of the barracks, just going, "Do you ever wonder why we're here?" You're just like, you know what? Done. We're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
I love stuff like that, though.
Oh,
I love people who are capable of having that sort of niched level passion. You know, it's hard to find that a level of attachment to things, much less people who are not ashamed to be that passionate. Do you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny when I first got into it and started watching. Yeah, I was up in Montana, and nobody around was really into video games as much, or any of that sort of stuff. So my, I guess, kind of inner nerd took a backseat to everything else. But then I'd go and watch that and just geek out on with myself. And yeah, it wasn't until I kind of got making some more friends that, or like my buddy that introduced me to Red vs. Blue, and they're just like, "This is awesome," and like openly being like, "Holy crap!"
And so, taking a step further back, were you a person who played a lot of video games growing up?
I had the original NES growing up.
Good choice.
Yeah, well, classic.
Yeah.
And actually, still in the closet at my dad's house, there's a Commodore 64 sitting there that I never got to touch, but
But it exists in your
it
household.
does exist in the household. So, but no, we played a lot over at my buddy's house. I remember we'd be playing like the original Metroid, and I would be reading the map. My buddy had the whole like get up. He had the map and everything, and I'd be telling him where to go while he was trying to, while he'd be going through the levels.
Yeah, full on navigator style.
Yeah, but it was a blast. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, actually, like video games killed a lot of time. Like again, sitting in the barracks with nothing else to do, not having a lot of money. It was like, all right, I'll play some video games, and all of a sudden you're sitting for what feels like 24 hours playing Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty, and the voices are talking to you, telling you to stop playing the game, and you're freaking out. So,
And so now you've mentioned it twice. You spent some time in the military. What would you care to tell us about that?
I spent 4 years in the U.S. Army with the 101st Airborne Division. Uh, I
Thank you.
was a forward observer. Basically, I got to tell all the guns, all the big guns, where to shoot, what to shoot, how much to shoot, when, and then I got to watch the explosion. So it was a party.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Being the guy who says point and go, that's kind of a good gig.
It's not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah.
And then getting to watch the actual just.
You never have to be right directly behind the gun when it fires.
No. Well, no, you're usually on the closer to the receiving end than the firing end. So yeah, I know. There's some weird math. It has to do a lot with math and angles and vectors.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And so, did you go to college? Like, did you study any sort of the stuff that you're actually using now, or did you just sort of work
No.
your way into it?
No, I went to the Army right after high school. Got out of the Army and went a little while. Went to college, or started to anyways. Was going to school in San Antonio for architecture. Decided I didn't want to be an architect and started going into computer programming, and decided I wanted to move. And so I moved north of Austin, and was going to transfer to UT Austin. They're like, well, we kind of can't take you. Yeah, which is a bummer. The military was going to, or the Army was going to pay for my school, but they weren't going to pay. UT needed more credits than I needed to take, so it
just kind of wasn't worth it.
yeah, it wasn't panning out. But literally like 2-3 weeks later, I get the call from Rooster Teeth saying, "Hey, you want to come in?" And I was like, "School can wait." Yeah,
Right place, right time syndrome, basically.
absolutely. Like, I mean, I don't get lucky like that. So to see it happen, you're just like,
I have a very similar story, so I know exactly what you mean, and it feels very good to Jump out of the frying pan and fall into a bed of roses, as it were.
Well, I mean, roses are thorny, but I see where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like that's still a very apt metaphor for what we do. It is absolutely
Yes.
gorgeous,
No,
and yet
absolutely.
sometimes it still stings a little bit.
It do.
In the best possible way. I mean, like I said, it's always great to be so busy that you don't have time for a personal life or even keeping your house any sort of clean.
Dude,
But
you can't see the other side of my monitor, but it is a pile of laundry.
yeah. Oh hell, I'm doing 3 loads of it right now. I'm about to have to take the long drive all the way to Georgia. Because, as a little bit behind the curtain, it's Christmas for when you guys are watching this in the future. But I will have been driving all the hell the way to Georgia.
Ah,
So
less than fun.
yeah, I have to get ready for that portion, which includes doing all the personal stuff that I keep putting off because doing work at the company is just way too much damn fun.
It's a good time.
I mean, are you kidding me? The people that we get to work with and the stuff that we get to do and the opportunities that are in front of us are things that we would never dream of doing on our own resources. Or at least not me. I can't speak for you necessarily, but
No, I'm right there with you. It's it is weird. I mean, we do put in hours on hours on hours on hours, but it does pay off.
I feel very satisfied when I go home at night, and that is a hard thing to
I feel
attain.
very tired when I go home at night.
Yeah, that too.
No,
That very, very much too.
I absolutely love working there. It's one of those things where outside of, you're kind of looking at it like, dude, it'd be awesome to work there one day, and then to see it happen, you're like, holy crap, this is awesome. Not
Yeah.
quite what I expected.
There's some very
what you
real
expect.
aspects to the
Yes.
dream job.
Yeah, no, it's not all playing video games and just joking around with your friends.
Yeah,
There's real, actual work that has to be done.
absolutely.
So,
And if you do it right, no one knows you've done anything at all.
exactly.
But it's interesting, going back to your schooling a little bit, that you were able to take the 2 things that you did study, computer engineering and architecture, and you now have a job using computers to create architecture.
In a sense,
In
yeah.
a sense, yeah, for a cartoon, of course. So it's nowhere near even close to the same level. Like it's the creative aspects of it without the execution portion.
Or the degree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
it's,
awesome how that works out like that.
Yeah, it does kind of, when the pieces fall into place, you don't see it until it happens. You're like, okay, I'm not as lost as I thought it was coming into this place.
Yeah. I feel like that's sort of the secret to like finding that job that you love. Like if you don't know what you want to do when you're growing up, find the things that you do love and figure out a way to combine them into a job.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
There is a way to figure out that useless melange of skills that you've been able to gather over the years into some sort of profitable path. It's just figuring out the right one.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is a matter of the more tricks you have in your bag, the better your chances are of finding a couple of them that you can mash together into something that you do like doing. So it doesn't hurt to just kind of dabble in a little this, a little that, see what you like. If you don't like it, well, now you don't like it.
I mean, hell, I ended up using like lynda.com and the Adobe Creative Cloud to very cheaply teach myself how to do this sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden I get a video put on the Rooster Teeth channel. Like, I mean, you take the steps to make your own path. Like, it's not something that's ever just going to be dropped in your freaking lap.
Exactly. No, the opportunity will be given to you, but if you don't take the steps necessary to really make it flourish, then second chances don't happen a lot.
Exactly. Luck equals preparation meets opportunity.
There you go.
Period. Bingo, bango.
I think Yogi Berra said something about luck, and I can't remember what it is, but I know it's more than 100%.
So, are you still able to play any sort of video games now, or it's
Rooster
Rooster Teeth just taking over your life?
There's a little bit of that. I did bring in my own PlayStation. It's sitting behind my monitor or one of my monitors at work.
Hmm.
So, 11 o'clock at night when it's our team sitting there just waiting on frames, then
Yeah.
we'll get in, we'll play Rocket League or something like that. I've still been able to play a little bit at home. Uh, not as much when I didn't have a job, but
No, no one ever does.
yeah, right.
Like
It's
it's
not enough. Let's say it's more than I hoped for, but less than I want.
right, right. I'm still trying to slog my way through Fallout 4, and that game just takes so many hours to get through it. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything away in my little town, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Oh wait, I have to repair my armor. Okay, that takes another 5 minutes. And
No.
then you look up, and it's suddenly been like an hour later than you said you were gonna go to bed.
Oh yeah, no. Or you look over and you're pretty sure you can see the sunrise off in the distance. It's like, it's gonna be a long day. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was sitting there. I was like, oh, cool. You can kind of build your own little town or your settlement. And next thing I know, 3 hours had passed by, and I was still building a house. Like Fallout turned into Minecraft instantaneously.
How? No, we're not even going to discuss this story because here's the thing. I have opinions, okay? I have opinions about that game, and we can discuss it off camera. I don't know how far you've actually gotten into the game, but we can talk about that later in the week.
I can say I have not gotten as far as I want. I will say this. I feel like I should be more emotionally attached to the main story than I am. I am very attached to my dog in the game. Like,
I have not had another companion other than dog meat the entire game.
I actually don't take dog meat out anymore. I made him a very comfortable home, a very safe place. And I was like, all right, you stay here. You've done your job.
You've earned your retirement, sir.
You've earned this.
Good
So,
boy.
Yeah. No, right now I'm taking out. I've been kind of taking out a couple different people just to see what kind of perks I can get, or if I don't piss them off too much with the choices I make. But yeah, just kind of getting a feel for the game. I'm trying to talk about it without spoiling it.
Without giving away
Yeah.
too much. But I feel like it still kind of suffers from the same Bethesda syndrome where it's the width of an ocean and the depth of a paddling pool.
It's
But it's a little bit better than Skyrim because at least
actually-
Fallout gives you some sort of sense that it knows you're there.
yeah. I don't know. I've never played Skyrim, so I know terrible. But
Yeah. You're fine, trust me. It's Fallout with Vikings and magic as opposed to guns and post-apocalyptia.
okay,
Yeah, that's all you're missing.
fair enough.
And dragons.
Oh well.
Yeah, I feel like that's worth mentioning. People would crucify me if I didn't at least mention the dragons.
I have seen dragons from that, so
And then people mod it to make the dragons Macho Man. So, it's always fun. PC gaming, right?
awesome.
Yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage mod is one of my favorite Skyrim mods because it skins all the dragons as Macho Man Randy Savage, complete with hat and like streamers coming off of their claws and everything. And then all of the shouts that the dragons do, because the dragons like fire breath and all that kind of stuff is actually like the words that they're saying being projected from
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And instead it says like, "Oh yeah," and then like just fire comes out of his mouth. It's
No, there's one in Fallout.
wow.
I know that already came out. It was the every time you fired off the Fat Man, the mini nuke launcher, it's John Cena's like background song. Yeah, it's it's pretty amazing.
So then are you playing Fallout on the PC?
No, I'm playing it on Xbox right now.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm told that the mods are supposed to carry over. So
Oh yeah. Oh really?
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, because since I have not been on consoles recently, I've been very lazy in keeping up with that kind of news. So that's interesting that they're able to do that. Good.
Well, I mean, Xbox is running off of Windows 10 now, so
Right,
I
right.
mean, it's not a tough.
I guess that makes a good point.
But yeah, I'm not sure how they're doing it with the PlayStation, but apparently it's possible. So that's cool.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to grab a Steam link right after Christmas, because I'm excited to be able to try to stream my PC games down to the TV downstairs
Nice.
without having to lug my giant PC all the way down the fucking
Right.
stairs.
No.
And from
No,
what I've heard, it actually works pretty damn well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know there's a couple people at the office that are having or at least trying them. So
Yeah. And I mean, they're $40 too. I mean, you can't really beat that.
it's not bad.
No, it really it's the same size as an Apple TV, you know? And
Oh,
this is we'll see how it works when I actually am able to get one of the damn things. But, you know, it seems like a good idea in theory.
no, absolutely. I don't see why it would be. I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a PC gamer, but yeah, to have
And to be
accessibility to kind of move it around to other places, that'd be without like you were saying, lugging it a whole tower with you. That'd be nice.
if they had like a PlayStation Mini attachment that you could put on your TV upstairs in your bedroom, say,
Right.
and then you could just play your games through that with your PS4 still hooked into the entertainment system downstairs,
Not a bad idea.
right?
No.
Or I think they're working on like wireless HDMI receivers and things like that, so you'll be able to just plug one of them into the back of your TV.
I don't even know how that would work, but cool.
All of that wireless power
People are
stuff that's being
smart
worked on.
people nuts.
I dive very deep into the tech blogs. I can't help it. I get bored.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. And so, while you're, there's a lot of changes that have been going on over in your office. How are you guys accommodating to growing in size?
It's woof.
Getting back
You know,
to topic of work.
Yeah, it's staying busy. That's for sure. The entire office is now in 3 buildings, 4 buildings, something like that. Animation is slowly but surely taking like stage 5.
It's you guys in broadcast in there with a
we got-
sprinkling of Barbara and Gus and Bethany and Tech.
Yeah, and then we've got games wedged in there now.
Yes, that's right. Games is
The old
still in there.
Achievement Hunter office. So, yeah, they're we're staying busy, and we're looking at like even with all the room we have, we're still sitting there like, okay, where are we going to start putting everybody when it starts?
Right.
Really getting,
Where is next?
yeah.
And
So
so, I know you can't really talk about it much, but you guys are getting ready for RWBY 14 coming up this coming year.
it's on the horizon.
I've been hearing some very exciting things, dude. Like I love the direction that we are now able to go, because Rooster Teeth, about I guess 6 or 7 years ago now, laid this foundation of stuff that they were trying out and branching out the red versus blue story into doing a little bit more serialized type things. You know, the 3-season arcs and that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and the video podcast and making live action shorts a real produced thing. And now all of those things that we tried back then are now established
Yeah, they're all
parts
their
of the
own.
brand.
Yeah, they're all their own. Well, heck, most of them are their own department now.
Exactly. And now we're trying even newer things with Laser Team, to say the very least.
Laser Team.
A lot of the new sets that are coming about, the Achievement Hunter podcast, which how gorgeous is that fucking thing? I mean, seriously?
Yeah, Miles grabbed me one day. He's like, "You want a beer?" I was like, "Not really." He goes, "Let's go get a beer."
Let's go get a beer. Trust me, you want to
Grabbed
see
a
this
pint
beer.
glass and just started walking onto the off-topic set. It's like, I don't want a beer though, Miles. Granted, I already had a glass of whiskey at like 11 in the morning, but
So you didn't need a beer. Like it's as though you didn't want a beer. So you really didn't need one.
didn't need it. I had a cup of coffee and a generous glass of whiskey, and
Nice. An Irish breakfast.
yeah, and we had a show due that day, so
Perfect.
we had an episode due that day. So
Hey,
it's
no,
like-
listen, that's how you start a day when you have an episode due.
Exactly. So no, it was a party, that's for sure. Sorry for the noise in the background. Someone's doing laundry.
Oh, no.
But no, yeah. This new season, like I know very little about it, but what I do know, I am very excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the just the different departments of it and the talent they're bringing in for it is mind-boggling to say the least. So,
Hell, there was
this is gonna,
the tweet that Miles put out the other day about the two voice actors coming in, and
I didn't actually see that tweet, but
I believe it was the guy who does the voice of Roy Mustang in the English version of Full Metal Alchemist. I forget the guy's name, and I hate to even bring somebody up when I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but
it's not Travis, is it?
it'll be Travis something or other.
Yeah.
It'll be down in the description. I can tell you that to make up for it.
Yeah, no,
But
he came in. It was like I've seen that guy somewhere before, and all of a sudden it clicked. It was like, wait, he's going back to the audio booth. Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Hey. And so now, expounding a bit more on the point I was making earlier, it actually is really cool to see some of the stuff that we're laying down now as trying stuff out, and then seeing that it will very soon become the new foundation that we're working from.
Yeah, it's gonna be the next floor in the Rooster Teeth Tower.
Like the very idea that we are building fairly identical sets to a lot of the No set and things of that nature to ship out to LA, so that you could record half the podcast in one day and then go fly over there and record the other half the second day with a completely different crew. People would be like, how did that happen? Movie
Wizards. Magic. Yeah. Yeah, it's bonkers. I mean, and animation being one of the bigger departments, we still only see really our slice of the pie.
Yeah.
You hear things around the office of what other people are doing. It's like, once I get some time, I want to go check this out. And then you realize, oh, there is not enough time.
When you get the chance, like during the 5:45 sunset lookout.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're all going to check the sunset out. It's like, oh, great. The sun's going down.
It makes me laugh so hard. And I don't identify with anything more in the company than scheduling a time for the entire group to go out and be outside for a little bit.
Yeah, right. You get a couple of minutes here and there when you go grab lunch or you're going to use the restroom, but yeah, for the most part it's like, where did the day go? And
or night, depending on how long you've already been there.
Yeah, depending on what time you get in.
Yep.
But no, it's the sacrifices that a lot of people make there to put out such awesome stuff is just staggering. Like, I mean, everybody that's there wants to be there because they want to put out the best content possible and they want to be a part of that.
Do you find it as infectious as I do? Like when you see somebody doing that, does that kind of make you want to work harder?
It definitely helps. It's nice. You get some gripes and some complaints, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're wanting to make it as good as possible, and they're running into a roadblock. Very rarely you just don't hear actually, people griping and complaining because the work environment is less than or non-conducive to healthy environment. It's I'm just throwing words together right now.
What are some of the roadblocks that you guys encounter? I mean, I know it's not always smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's software limitations, computer limitations. We always want everything to go faster, be and we're running with great equipment, but it's always like it could be better.
And time and people limitations.
No, absolutely. And that's I know with the animators and layout and stuff, they're always given an infinite amount of time, they would still be on chapter 1 because they would be tweaking.
And unfortunately, sleeping and eating is kind of mandatory.
That's apparently you have to do that on a daily basis. So
your body gets kind of mad at you.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't work so good.
The the body can handle a lot. I'm just saying. Uh,
As ex-military, yeah, the
yeah,
body can
no,
handle
I
a
mean,
lot.
just saying, you never really appreciate what you're capable of doing until you're doing it.
Right.
Uh, and
And
you see that a lot with these animators. They're the first, you walk in the morning and they're there, and you leave at night and they haven't left. And it's like, do they leave sometime, when I'm not there, or have they just been pulling an all-nighter? And a lot of times they have been pulling an all-nighter.
right. And that would be yet another connecting thread in all three of the gigs that you have leading up to RT.
Oh,
Between the military and the guardianship and now your regular job.
yeah, oh yeah. No, there was the early mornings of getting everything ready for RTX, and the late nights of making sure the rest of your team has gotten off for the day, or gotten back safe, and just managing,
God forbid you have somebody pull a fire alarm.
yeah, that was a thing.
Hey, we got a commendation from the city.
Yeah, that you don't hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking great.
Yeah, that I mean, and that's just, again, it goes to the our guardians. It is a pretty decent vetting that they have to go through, and everyone that we have is just, they want to be there to work, and they want to be there to help everyone else at the convention have the best possible time. So that's, I mean,
I think that's
I've done it 3 years now, and the number of repeat guardians just keeps climbing,
yeah.
and that says a lot. That they would rather go and work the event, bust their ass for 4 days, 5 days,
And
than,
not really get to enjoy it.
no,
I mean,
no,
people think that you're kidding when you say that you don't really get to do much. You don't.
no, it's all and you have to go in there knowing that. We tell the teams, you might get to see
A panel.
a panel, yeah, a panel, or odds are you're going to catch 3 minutes of it on a TV monitor somewhere, as you're running down a hallway trying to find someone, or talking with 200, 300, 400 attendees all waiting in line to get into the panel that you really want to see, but you're managing the line for it. So
Trying really hard not to touch any of them because flus.
yeah,
Con
well,
crud is a thing.
yeah, it's not, and it's nothing against anyone in particular, but that number of bodies is you're
Yeah.
gonna get sick.
Yeah. It's just going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that sort of vetting process is sort of kind of what lands people like you and me jobs as soon as
Jobs.
we get here.
It doesn't
And it
hurt.
feels, It feels pretty good to have kind of earned that spot.
Yeah, no, it's and never did I think that being a guardian was going to get me where I am. I was doing it because it was fun, and getting to help out.
Now, I remember exactly what I put on my first Guardian application. When they asked, why do you want to be a Guardian? It was because I wanted to give someone else the exact same experience that I had at my first RTX.
Nice. Yeah, no, and actually, excuse me, the first RTX I worked, 2013, that's the first RTX I've ever been to. So I've actually never attended an RTX. I've always worked them.
Fair
We'll
enough.
see how 2016 goes, but
Oh, good
guys are
gravy!
very
Now that
watching
it's
this.
a hybrid convention and in
Oh.
3 buildings and
yeah, that's three different venues has been
3
that was
full venues this year, not 2.5.
yeah, it was that was an experiment.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
I can't wait until 10 years from now when we just own the entire city block a la South by Southwest. Like, that's the thing that I'm excited for.
It's
coming.
It's bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just this. It is going to be just this monolith of a convention,
Yeah, buddy. And I think that's a pretty good place to go ahead and start to hit that point in the show where we do our Inside the Actor Studio style questionnaire. I have a version of the Proust personality questionnaire as they do, but it's a little bit reappropriated, and it goes a little something like this. Alex, what is your favorite word?
Favorite? Ooh, I don't think I can say it on here.
No, go say whatever the hell you want.
It's absolutely fuck.
That's my favorite too.
It is such when wielded properly, it is an excellent vocabulary tool.
I would have to agree with that 100%. What is your least favorite word?
No. I hate when people say no, or along that lines of can't or won't.
Fair
Any
enough.
of the really negative ones, like the negative absolutes.
You just rather somebody work with you a little bit than
A little bit,
absolutely say no?
and yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to
try
put you
that.
on the spot, but that's
No,
literally
no,
the point.
try rather than just quit without giving any sort of attempt.
Fair enough. What sound or noise do you love?
Do like running water. Like used to go camping, and there was a creek that we'd camp next to, and I could fall asleep next to that thing in a heartbeat. Although learning to love the sound of a train horn, because I live about 3 blocks away from a train.
Ah, environmental sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, I live near the airport, so I've got that one to deal with.
it's a good one.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, like the fork on the bottom of a pan.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bad
Ooh,
one.
that's a bad one. Yeah, like to me, that's almost worse than nails on the chalkboard because chalkboards don't exist anymore.
Exactly. You got whiteboards, and it just sounds like a squeegee.
Yeah, I only have one that exists in my imagination. I run a fork across the plate every damn day.
Yeah, oof,
Uh,
easily the worst.
so what hero or heroine, no judgments here, do you identify with the most?
I'd like to think that if you were to mash Captain America and Deadpool together, that'd be a pretty good culmination.
So the moral gray ground is where you like to live, basically.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
the only difference between the two.
Well, I mean, I like to think that I'm morally sound, but at the same time, sometimes feathers have to get ruffled and punches have to be thrown. So,
Fair point. Fair point. I think I like that a lot. What villain or villainess?
That's a good one. Really, the only villain that's coming to my head right now is Vader, and that's not. I wouldn't say that's my answer, but it's the only guy I can think of right now. It's like, well,
Hey.
who are some other?
That's not a bad one to go with, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Can we come back to that one?
Yeah, of course. What would be your superpower?
Ooh, dude, these are good questions. I didn't study.
It's okay. There is no prepping for this test.
Flight would be a cool one. Yeah, I gotta go with flight.
Fair enough. What would be your
I'm
super
kind of
weakness?
but a classic. My weakness. Ooh. Do tacos count?
Absolutely.
Moving to Texas, that was.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel you on that one.
I absolutely love Texas, but I have not found a taco I don't like yet.
Being able to run over to HEB and buy fajita meat in bulk is kind
Yeah.
of the most dangerous thing that's ever happened in my
It's-
gastrointestinal system.
It's not good for you, but man. Or we can go a block away and there's Torchy's, or go a block after that and there's Paco's Tacos.
Right.
Or 2 blocks in the other direction and there's about 80 taco trucks.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah.
Now I just make myself fucking hungry. God damn it.
Yeah.
So what turns you on creatively? What gets your wheels turning?
A little bit of everything. If I'm like, I can just sit there and let my mind wander, and I'll just latch to the most strange things. Or sitting there talking with other people at work, and not even talking about anything in particular, but just somewhere in my head, you know, I'll grab onto some obscure thing that they said, and that'll lead to something else obscure, and then all of a sudden I'll hit like an idea. It's like that would be kind of cool.
Unrelated side question: were you a daydreamer growing up?
Oh man, like I still am.
I can't tell you the number of times I got into trouble. Like we had conduct grades in school growing up. I don't know if that was a thing anywhere else, but I nearly failed out of school so many times because of poor conduct, which was really just me looking off in my own little world. And then the teacher would call on me, asking the question, and I would give her the answer, but she couldn't really give me a poor grade on the test, so my conduct grade was very bad because I wasn't paying attention. Oh my God.
Well, I think.
So I feel your pain on that.
Sounds like something I would have done. But no, I'm still daydreaming, and I'm still growing up. So, I mean,
I guess that's fair. How old are you now?
I just turned 33.
Oh, okay.
16 days ago.
Oh, happy late birthday.
Thank you much.
And so, getting back on track, what turns you off creatively?
People that are just getting so caught up in one detail that not being able to get past that, like or just like even myself, I'll find myself getting so focused on one idea that, like, for reasons I don't even know, like, it has to work when it's very obvious that it's not going to work,
Right.
but not being able to let go of that.
And you just keep smashing your head against the brick wall as opposed to figuring out a way to walk around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not using the door that's 3 feet away.
Exactly. I mean, you go and work on some other things over here, and then your brain is still constantly firing away on it, All of a sudden, the stuff you're working on over here triggers some sort of brain function that makes you realize, oh, hey, I can just do this third option that I never thought of before, and all your problems are solved.
Even better than that is, working where we work, there's always someone that's like, you can talk to almost anyone, and they will give you another option that you never would have thought of. And it's like, oh, well, duh, why wouldn't I do that?
It's always the greatest thing in the world, being not the smartest person in the room.
Yes, absolutely. Like being able to bring some people to the table, but realizing that it's a really big table and there's a lot of people at it that are all bringing something.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, what other talent, other than the ones you've obviously been gifted with, would you like to have?
Anything visually artistic. Like I can mess up a stick figure. But I mean, if I were to, give me a straight edge, I can design you a building.
Right.
But to just sit there and free draw,
never gonna happen.
Way beyond me.
Yeah, I feel your pain on that one. Like my fingers just do not work the way my brain wants them to.
Yeah, no, and I can sit there and I can picture it in my head. It's like, oh yeah, well, why don't you just do this and this? But there is something in that translation from your brain to your hand where it's just like, yeah.
And suddenly the pencil ends up in the ceiling, and you're like, how did that even? How?
Yep.
Oh, whatever. We're just not an artist. I guess I'm just not an artist.
Yeah,
fine.
I have very much come to terms with that. But I work with a lot of very talented artists, so it's close enough.
Yeah, fair enough. What advice would you give to 13-year-old Alex?
Ooh, man. That's a long list.
Yeah.
Serpentine, for one. You're welcome. Pay attention in school. Like, I mean, maybe meet your parents halfway and do some homework. Yeah, video games aren't going to, ruin you.
I think that's a pretty good one. A
Yeah.
lot of people tend to get in their minds, either you end up falling into the trap and video games do ruin you, or you steer so far away from them as a kid that you just never catch that train.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you look at other people playing them. I never want to be that person that looks at someone else doing what it is they love and be like, "That's such a waste of time. Why would you do that?" Because I
Yeah.
sit there and I can dump 8, 10, 12 hours into Fallout in a day. Like,
You never want to be that guy who's like, yeah, the last game I played was Donkey Kong. And you're like,
yeah,
get the fuck out of here, old man. Just go.
Yeah.
You're not even going to have a chance.
no,
But you know that's going to, like, when they get the neural implant chips in your brain that allow you to control a robot avatar over there, we're just not even going to be able to keep up.
yeah.
Although I'm damn sure going to try.
Oh,
Like, don't get me
absolutely.
wrong. Like, that's totally not going to keep me out of the competition.
Absolutely.
So what is something that only you do?
Ooh. I like to think, and I'm pretty sure there's some people at work that would agree that I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet.
Fair enough. I think I would agree with that statement.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think it goes straight back to your Captain America and Merc
Yeah,
with the mouth
right?
analogy earlier.
Yeah, it's all about balance.
And what is your favorite curse word?
We already went over that.
Oh yeah, we totally
Yeah.
did. You jumped the gun on that one a
That's-
little bit. I wasn't gonna say anything. You could totally substitute a different one if you want. If you have one that it has a little bit more substance to it. But honestly, I would totally not blame you.
No, it's
Still fuck.
yeah, it's yeah. No, yeah, no, it's still fuck.
So where would you one day like to live?
I don't know. Like, I've seen a lot of the country. I've seen a lot of the world. I don't like the idea of settling down. Like, I just like to, I've lived in Minnesota. I've lived in Montana, Kentucky, Tennessee, DC, Oklahoma. If you ever get the opportunity to live in Oklahoma, skip it. No, do you have any people that watch this in Oklahoma?
Probably not, because they don't really have electricity out there.
Exactly.
Yep. No cows to run the wheels.
There you go.
Bison? Whatever.
Texas, no, well, who cares? It's Oklahoma. Yeah, I've spent a good chunk of time in the Middle East, and I've been to Africa, I've been to Europe, Canada.
But I can dig
Like
that
to-
idea. I mean, I'd like to have so many homes that there's not really one central place that you can call that place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, just getting to spend time in a place, spend a few years in, I don't know, Australia is one of them that I haven't been to yet.
Well, you certainly have an excuse now.
Yeah, right. Just wedge in RTX Australia.
We just sent a whole bunch of props and shit over so you could just get in with the shipping crates.
Like it.
All the merch.
I don't hate that idea.
Buy your very own Alex Leonard now in RTX Australia 2016.
Oh man, I can put on I'll just put on a shirt, I'll pretend to be a mannequin. It's done.
That is a very realistic looking mannequin.
Yeah.
Most anatomically correct I've ever seen. Why do they put the chest hair
Why
though?
did they
That's a weird detail.
Why were they not putting pants on the mannequins?
Because we don't make very good pants.
We don't. Yet.
Yet. Oh my god, I would love to have like a Rooster Teeth suit of some kind. That would be great. Like, I don't know what you would actually be able to put on the suit to make it Rooster Teethian, and I don't really care. I just want like a Rooster Teeth pocket square.
Sure, yeah.
Or like a Funhouse pocket square. That would be really nice.
That'd be, or ties. Even a tie clip.
Cufflinks.
Cufflinks. There you go. Maybe
Are you listening, Emily? You should totally be listening to this right now because you're welcome. We're just giving away money over here.
the formal men's line and ladies line.
Oh my god. I mean, we've already got the nice socks. Like, seriously, do you have yourself a pair of socks?
Really, Tim?
Yeah, fair point. So let's see. Last question on our list here. If you had a choice, how long would it take you to respawn after you died?
Ooh, long enough to see the kill cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and find out where the prick is camping out.
Fair enough. You're going straight after it immediately.
Yeah, maybe give me say 5 seconds.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good place for us to start to wrap out the show.
Sure.
I want to give a very warm and special thank you to my friend Alex Leonard for being here today. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the invite. I caught some of the thumbnails of the other people you've interviewed, and through our entire interview, I'm still trying to figure out why you picked me.
Oh, please.
Nah.
I love to give voice to people who don't really have the opportunity to say very much, because
Shucks.
as much as it is an opportunity to have a work excuse to sit down and talk to people that I don't really have the opportunity to talk to very much. Because let's face it, as much as we do talk in passing, you and I have never really had the chance to sit down for an extended period of time.
Right? Yeah.
And really just gab.
Yeah, we've known each other since like 2013, I think.
Exactly.
And we've never actually spent more than, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes at a time.
And so this is a great excuse to do that, to block out a period of time where we are going to sit down and talk, god damn it, because there's going to be a show out of it. Like, it has nothing to do with, the cameras just so happen to be an inconvenient thing in between you and me, because really we can just go to the bar. But that would not be as regimented, and you wouldn't have the excuse to put off actual work.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why.
Sure. Okay.
And also because we do great work, and we do good
work.
things, and sometimes the people who bear the brunt get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, right, I suppose so.
So,
I've done this once or twice, and you know what you're talking about, so.
Exactly. I feel like it is a little bit of both. I will 100% admit it's a little bit of both. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So to find Alex, his Twitter handle has been underneath him this whole time. I didn't realize until I actually tried to spell it out that it is downloadable content.
Yeah.
Just without any vowels.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of different ones from that. Someone thought it was download Bill Clinton at one time.
That's a good one. I hadn't thought of that.
Now I kind of want that one.
And is there anything else that you would like to say and or plug before we get out of here, sir?
Tim, you are an excellent host. Everyone should go watch RWBY Volume 3.
Yes, God.
If you haven't seen RWBY at all, go and start from the beginning. And
it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix, as is RWBY. And RWBY is now on El-Ray. If you have El-Ray, you can just splurge on the weekends.
Exactly. Saturday morning cartoon style, baby.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, my man.
Pleasure.
And you've been watching this on youtube.com/Tim Leftwich. My name is Tim Leftwich. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And as always, we'll see you next time. Bye. And that's the end.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Dude, that was so much fun. Like, seriously,
That was a good time.
That is 100% truth of why I even do the show in the first place. Like, yeah, it's a good opportunity. Sometimes I get to talk to game devs, and I get to build relationships and shit like that. But when it's just me sitting here talking to people that I work with, it's just because I want to get to know you better, and we don't really have a chance to do that. And
Yeah,
we're always fucking working.
a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's always way more important than any sort of interpersonal relationship, which you know is going to be just fine. Like, we cannot have the heartful, soulful topics that most people would take to get to that friendship part and still be there at the end of the day because we work together.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, I get it, man.
And so this is the work excuse to have that other half of the conversation.